Bonafide Bites, authentic tips and tricks for the boardroom and beyond, is designed to provide insightful tips, tricks, and concise discussions aimed at enhancing the effectiveness, impact, and connectivity of boards. Featuring experts Marilyn Nagel and Dr. Deborah Carlin, facilitated by myself, Erin Selenchuk. Questions or interested in advancing your board experience? Contact Dr. Donna Hamlin at dhamlin@hhboardwise.com. Such as regulatory changes, stakeholder pressures, CEO or leadership team challenges might pose obstacles or even opportunities for boards to cohesively work together as a team. How can these be overcome when there's external factors influencing the board?
Well, I can start on this one. This is actually one of the modules I teach in the board governance program at BoardWise, because things are changing. We never thought that culture was, or stewarding culture was a piece of the board's role, but it is now. And so the way I like to think of it is that the board has its own culture also. And so think about how you're modeling a culture within the board as a starting place, and then look at how you oversee the culture of the company, because the company's culture reflects its reputation and has implications for risk and everything else. So we now have ESG, we have DEIB, we have human capital management, we have culture, all elements that we have AI, we have all areas of risk that were never considered by boards and are now. And I think it starts with the board looking at itself. What is our culture? How do we govern ourselves? And how do we role model a respectful culture within our ranks so that we can now look at what's going on in the company and is that appropriate? But I think it always starts, it starts with yourself.
Real quickly, if we hold true to everything else that we've answered questions about in here, it becomes a non-issue. Because by the time you get to that point, you should have practiced all of these skills that we're talking about so that they are not insurmountable when you come to the big hill or the mountain. And that's what we're talking about.
Do either of you have one final thought that anyone who serves on a board should know?
Don't be there for self-aggrandizement at all. Be there to be a servant leader. Be there to be humble. Be there to do the job, the heavy lifting that so many need to have done. Because without the boards, painfully less gets accomplished. So come in quietly and work like a lion, stealthily.
I love that. The only thing I can possibly add to it is look around and know when it's time to step aside and make room for someone else. So sometimes people stay on a board a little too long because they love it, because they are committed to the organization. But there's also the idea of making room for others. And I think it's an important skill to know when it's time to make space for new people to come on the board and add their skills. And so everything Deb said, plus.
Thank you both so much for your incredible insights.